Ladies and gentlemen, it's time. It's Thursday. It's Korner Booth pregame.
No debate, cause it's off. I'm too official, got the drip, I got the sauce. Bring the proof when it's time to tell the truth. I'll be at the corner booth, find me in the corner booth, yeah. Still standing and defiant. Slay the competition, cause I'm walking like a giant. Bring the proof when it's time to tell the truth. I'll be at the corner booth, find me in the corner booth.
Love to see this team add another receiver, whether that's trade or free agency.
That's okay. Pittsburgh's the AARP retirement home.
There's a bunt record. That person's never going to have to worry about that thing ever getting broken.
I hate analytics. I think it's ruined the game I grew up loving.
I will do unspeakable things for the Giants to win this rule.
Oh, pause. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the Korner Booth pregame. I am your backwards cap wearing host, Mr. Jared Clem. Yes, if anybody's wondering, this is an Entourage t-shirt. Shout out to Sabres. I found this, and this made me so happy the other day because, favorite shirt, obviously. This is the Korner Booth Podcast, episode 343. It's going to be a fun show today. We had a little technical difficulty. That's why the 2-minute start late. Apparently, X forgot to let us know that our premium membership expired for a day. So, thanks, Elon. Appreciate you. Want to give a quick shout out to Nate today. Nate, our boy, hit 800 steps. Proud of you, buddy. Kicking ass as usual. We're really proud of you there. Happy feet. And, of course, joining me as my co-host, Jets. Happy Jets fan? I'm not sure how he feels today. It could be worse. Preseason's over. We're 10 days away from the NFL season. Matt Ordazzo, how you doing, buddy?
I guess I'm optimistic, happy. I don't know. I mean, I went into this expecting 7-10 as like a pretty much a minimum of what I thought the Jets are going to do. Yeah. I thought they had a fine preseason. I think I'm more of a staunch hating Yankee fan right now because they are 2 for 10 against Boston this whole season, and they got them in another couple weeks. And it's just every time that this team was once, I don't know how many games in first, and then they were, I don't know how many games behind first, and then they were out of the wild card race. Then they had the first wild card. Then they dropped 3 to Baltimore or Boston, and then they dropped down to a half game above the third. I don't know. I think I'm just happy that Boone finally had the cojones to bench Anthony Volpe. And
my dad watched the Yankees all year. Was watching because he's a Sox fan. He goes, that shortstop 11. He's so awful. I'm like, man,
you know what's crazy about that? Just 2 years ago, he had a Gold Glove his rookie year.
And maybe it's Chuck Knobloch's disease.
Oh God, don't even say that name. I get like war flashbacks when I hear that name.
I mean, listen, and here's the weird thing about the whole, Yankees. This baseball season's been so up and down. You'd think the Dodgers are like far and away the best team in baseball. They still haven't even hit 85. I just think they hit 85 wins last night. Nate, you want to check if they hit 85? I think they're 84, 83, whatever it is. But
Dodgers hat, Nate.
Yeah. But like they're not even blowing away anything.
Mets are also a big disappointment too, just like the Yankees this season. They're both slumping. They're both the exact same thing. They're like 9 or 10 games over 500. They're both barely in the second or third wild card. They're both slumping at the same time. It's just insane how both New York teams are in sync for the wrong reasons right now. But yeah, baseball it's interesting. Detroit's probably the favorite for the American League. The Red Sox are sneaky. Toronto's sneaky. Padres are creeping up there. Philly's creeping up there. Milwaukee.
And not least, the team's playing Milwaukee. 15-8 since they traded their team away. My Diamondbacks, who all of a sudden are winning games and almost swept the Reds if their bullpen didn't go.
Yeah, that's an interesting story to have to not be slumping after you pretty much sell on the season in a sense.
Well, maybe it's a stubbornness thing. I mean, as somebody who is one of the most stubborn and anti-authority people you're ever going to meet, nothing makes me happier than watching a team that's supposed to tank say F that and start winning games. They got in Milwaukee today apparently at 4 a.m. So they're either going to get killed or absolutely mercilessly throttle the Brewers tonight. I'm not sure what's going to happen, but that's awful 4 a.m. But yeah.
They're either going to have one of those games where they're so exhausted that they're just like, you know what, I'm just going to swing at this next pitch. What's the worst that can happen? And then they're going to just put up 9 runs. Or like you said, they're probably going to get blown out. One or the other.
You know what? At this point with baseball, with my Hurricanes and my Eagles coming back to me in 6 days and 10 days respectively, 6 days and 5 days and 6 days, 10 days. It's 5 day difference. Sunday to Thursday. I am very excited to watch. Well, one, I'm ready to go like this to Notre Dame. I'm ready to square up. Like, let's go, you stupid Irishman. Let's do this. I'm ready to fight. Like, I'm ready to go. I've been hearing all last 3 years about how Notre Dame's this, but the last time they came to our building, we stomped their daylights out. And as for the Eagles, I don't know, maybe because I heard DMX, What's My Name, which is the Eagles hype-up song for the playoffs last year. I was ready to start barking and yelling and everything at every other team. I'm like, y'all forget who the champs are? We're about to make it everyone's problem this season. So I'm getting amped up. All my sports teams are kind of giving me a little bit of optimism and hope. So, yeah, I'm ready to go. This is going to be a fun season. We're talking NFC West today, by the way, and AFC West. The second to last divisions in our mock-up. Of course, on Thursday, we have the SEC. We have no idea who's coming on. We don't even know. We've invited like 8 people. They're all like, maybe.
I got to figure out why I'm going to convince myself that Brian Kelly's not going to ruin our year this year.
I mean, I like your optimism if that works.
That's why I'm saying I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to present this, because I also have to sell it to Nate. So I have to hide my dislike for Brian Kelly and his illegitimate bastard brother. That's not really his brother, Chip Kelly. I'm going to just keep home. I swear I thought they were related. I thought they looked kind of alike. I thought they were just brothers.
They're both short, frumpy. Really don't like guys with attitude playing on their teams. Failures as coaches. Yeah, it kind of makes sense. Nate, I actually drafted a New York Giant this year in my friend league draft.
Is that right?
Tyrone Tracy.
Yeah.
Nate's like, come on.
Yeah, I mean, it's not,
Who did you want? He's my third or fourth running back. What?
That's fantastic, boss. That is.
Yeah, because I think I got. No, he's my third. But yeah, I got Saquon and David Montgomery are my 2 starting running backs.
Okay.
I got mine tomorrow. East Rock Brewery.
I got mine today, and then I think another one, a couple more tomorrow, and then my official one for my podcast next week.
I have one on Friday.
The one with Kelsey and I
have 2 Friday then. Yikes!
Oh boy, that one's already scheduled.
Mine's on Thursday. Yeah, it's on Thursday, I think.
Oh yeah, it's right after the show.
Mm-hmm. Good to see you both, by the way.
Thank you,
let's see. Not much on the Jets. I didn't mean to bring some PTSD to you, Matt, with that video I sent to you the other day or last night.
Oh God, no! I don't want to relive it. I want 2023 and 2024 minus my wedding and everything to be wiped from my memory.
But do you remember watching that Hard Knocks show? Like, do you remember
how that? Of course, I remember. I remember the freaking magician dude coming to the Oz or whatever it was, and having Mecole Hardman tell us that we were going to beat the Niners in the Super Bowl by a score of whatever to whatever, and that didn't happen. And then Mecole Hardman got cut or traded, and then Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, so I remember that whole season very vividly. Yeah, freaking Robert Saleh, stupid shiny bald head, all of it. I don't want to ever see that coaching regime ever on a field again.
See, this is how I feel about Chip Kelly coaching the Eagles. Like, Matt, we have no memory of when we went to Eagles Jets because you and me could not seats, much less.
You know, it's something I actually remembered the other day, like just thinking about that. When we were in the parking lot and we were pre-gaming and then we were going into the game, I remember you had a bottle, like a water bottle full of some flavored rum or some flavored.
Oh, it was you. You had a flavor. You had Ciroc and orange juice in a water bottle. And you and me sharing it because I had like 7 Yinglings because I started drinking on the freaking Major D before we even got there. So
my memory's still bad.
And first of all, it was Eagles with like Sam Bradford and an injured DeMarco Murray with the Jets with Brandon Marshall and Ryan Fitzpatrick. And we were 21-year-old college kids. Like the fact that you remember half that game is great. I mean, the fact that you thought it was my liquor that was in that water bottle is even funnier because I would never put liquor in a water bottle because I don't melt plastic.
That makes sense now that you lay it out like that. I thought the story was you couldn't handle it, so I decided to step in. But it was me
gave it to some guy because I thought you were going to pass out in the bus.
Gave it to a person?
Yes, we gave it to a random guy. Then we got lost in MetLife for an hour.
A Poland Spring bottle of orange juice and Ciroc?
Yes.
I don't remember this. I remember the lateral. I remember.
All right, we got to get moving because it started. We got a lot to talk about today. Obviously, we're going to talk some NFC, AFC West ball. We're obviously talking SEC on Thursday, but our next guest is an SEC fan. She is a Georgia Bulldog. She works for Fox Sports 1, especially Fox Bet Super 6, and also works for NASCAR betting, which we're going to ask her a lot about because I know jack crap about betting on NASCAR. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Erica Renee Davis.
Hi. Hello. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we got you loud and clear.
Okay, microphone check. And you have to excuse my 1970s glass of water here.
I had the same glasses for years in my old apartment in my old house.
But let me tell you. So we did right after the pandemic at Fox Sports. So let's say 2021, 22. One of the executives had an office full of like just nice, sturdy like glassware. Yeah. So this is vintage, but it's good shit. So
hey, listen, those things are built tougher. I remember I broke the last one home on break my senior year of college, and my mom had a set of those going back to when I was born in the like mid-90s. So it's like possibly earlier, like before I was even like around. So they're good glasses. Erica, how you doing? We're happy to have you finally on.
I'm excited.
A week till the season for your Bulldogs. How you feeling right now?
Okay, so you know how we do in the SEC. We always start our schedules off with cupcake games. I know everyone across the country.
What's that like? I don't know what that's like.
Wait, hold on, back up because I sense some shade here.
No, I actually like Georgia, being an Eagles fan, but I am a diehard Hurricanes fan, and we haven't had an easy start to the season probably since I was in high school.
Well, now that you have my damaged goods and Carson Beck, it only gets worse. It only gets worse. Trust me.
This is why I have this whole, maybe I've been watching too much of like rebellious TV. I'm watching like Rogue Heroes. It's like World War II drama. It's a little edgy and big problem with authority. Maybe it's that. Maybe it's the rebellious side of me. I'm not sure. But I love the fact that people are crapping on Carson Beck. Everywhere I go, there's so much hate on Carson Beck, especially from SEC fans. And I said to myself in the season, he's either going to be average or he's going to go ballistic in Shannon Dawson's, hey, insert any quarterback, I'll make them a Heisman contender offense. He made us think that Tyler Van Dyke was a solid quarterback for a half season. So that's my rebuttal to it, but I get the skepticism because I watched last year's games too.
Dude, like you get the skepticism. I lived the skepticism. And here's the thing. I used to ride real hard for Carson Beck. Like a year ago, 2 years ago, I was like, that's my quarterback. But there's just an air of aloofness about Carson Beck. I don't care how talented he is, because I think he's really hella talented. There's just like an air of like, I don't give a damn. Like once the going gets tough, he kind of just like checks out emotionally. I'm not saying that everybody has to be like Tom Brady on the sideline, but when the national championship hopes are literally in your hands and on your arm, I want you to have a little bit more moxie on the sideline. And he just checks out of games emotionally. And I don't like it.
I'm trying to contact all SEC teams. I'm trying to see if they'll take Brian Kelly off my hands. If you're interested, it'll cost you just 170s water glass bottle that you got. And you could have Brian Kelly for whatever you want. Because
thank you.
You can use him as fishing bait. We don't care. Listen, my Brian Kelly skepticism goes way back. But or Matthew.
Yeah, he's going to be one holding back my LSU Tigers.
Yeah, I mean, you have a good quarterback. I mean, you got that going for you.
I do like Garrett.
I like him too. And speaking of quarterbacks, I guess have some trepidation about our season, my Bulldogs rather, going into the season with Gunnar Stockton. I think the only real game tape we have on him is the Sugar Bowl. And that game just from a defensive perspective. Right. So like just 360, our team just did not look like a classic Georgia Kirby Smart team of yesteryear. Yesteryear meaning the year before that and the year before that. And I can't even put it all on Gunner, but what we have seen of Gunner so far might not be as convincing when he stepped in for Carson, the SEC championship. I think there was like a lot of adrenaline, a lot of like go team go, kumbaya. So that was a different kind of situation. Now we've had a year to develop him. Let's see what spring ball has done for him. Let's see what our O-line is going to help him do. Let's see how the O-line is going to help our run game improve. I'm not worried about talent. I'm not worried about depth. I'm worried about development. And that's my biggest issue when it comes to our season.
Hey, listen, I've been around Alabama fans for my entire adult life. My former co-host is a Roll Tide grad, one of our good friends, Alabama's. I'm technically, Gump Twitter acknowledges me as Miami Jared because my co-host was obviously a Tide guy. I prefer talking to Georgia fans only because you guys go at it from, I guess, the best way to word it's like almost like a very blue blood and gritty perspective where there's not this weird expectation where if you don't win a national title, it's woe is me, the sky is falling. Like you guys expect to win one, but it's like, yeah, let's just win. Like we'll figure out the rest later, which I respect a lot more than if we don't win 3 more national titles, Kalen DeBoer is going to be strung up by his toes in the Village Square. So.
Well, but I think, and listen, Bama fans are very annoying. I think SEC fans, when it comes to like the top tier schools, are very just obnoxious in general. But Alabama fans have almost earned the right to be obnoxious. They've earned the right to have a certain expectation because once you have 1 million championships with Nick Saban, like the bar is so high. So don't get too high on Georgia fans because as soon as we win a couple of more with Kirby, we're gonna be the same kind of
We look at them like relatives basically because they've been giving us so many good players for the last like 5 years. So it's like half the guys I root for on Sundays are all ex-Bulldog players. Everyone from Keely Ringo up to Nakobe Dean. Like I watched them all in college. So
yeah, like I have a Philadelphia Bulldogs hoodie that I sport often because I mean we gifted the Eagles our entire 2021 defensive squad unit. So you're welcome.
Yeah, the whole defensive line.
I'm very appreciative.
Yeah.
Yeah, meanwhile, my team drafts BYU Cougar quarterbacks and wonders why they don't pan out. I can't. Why won't they just draft an SEC quarterback?
Oh,
I'm a Jets fan.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say, I have nothing there for you. Wait, but you guys did have Justin. I don't know if you count Justin as an SEC quarterback.
I mean, I do. He played a season and took a cup of coffee in Georgia.
I think he was probably the better quarterback available in this market of the offseason. So I'll take what I can get. It's better than what we had. Well, yeah, maybe even over Aaron Rodgers. I mean, that was a statue. That was pretty much like Joe Flacco behind that offensive line. He couldn't move.
Yeah, I really can't talk about quarterbacks because mine won the Super Bowl MVP.
Must be nice.
I'm just gonna sit here and just smile and just be happy. So Eric, I've been meaning to ask you. I know obviously Georgia fan, but for folks at home, who is I know because you're from Georgia, but I see a lot of Rams stuff on your story. Who is your team you pull on Sundays?
So this is what I say now, and people are going to hate this, but I do not have one NFL team that I diehard root for anymore. Now, when I was in college, I was an NFL cheerleader for the Falcons. So I do feel some affinity to the organization. I love what the Blake family does in our community in Atlanta. I'm a diehard big fan from way back when. So the Falcons are such a cornerstone organization to our community and to our culture. So kind of root for them. But other than that, I like players. Diehard Rams right now because of Stafford, obviously. And then Stetson. I was high on Stetson back when people were like, no, there's got to be another man. There has to be next man up. A fun fact about me, I'm from South Georgia originally, a really small town called Waycross, Georgia. And Stetson is from the hometown like next to me called Blackshear, Georgia. So like we call it the 912 or the dirty. So we're both from the 912 area. And that's a very small, tight knit community. So ride with Stafford, ride with Stetson, 2 damn good dogs. Lad McConkey over there on the other side of the tracks, Chargers, Brock, Raiders. So I do follow my guys from school.
Okay.
But again, like I love Jalen Hurts. I love his team. Like he has put together a team of women who have really helped like shape his like public image. So I follow him. I'm all over the place. I'm all over the place.
Hey, listen, it's respectable. That was me for college football for so long. I liked players. I get it. I went to a D2 school. So like to me, it was never really an option of having me and Matt both went to a small school. So like we had
been D3.
Pick of the litter, basically. Yeah, our rival just went D1 and we're basically about to go D3 at this point. But I got my pick and I took a team where I had a lot of players I rooted for in the pros of Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, Andre Johnson, Sean Taylor, rest in peace, Clinton Portis. I can keep going. So that was an easy choice for me. But like, I grew up watching Reggie Bush, Dennis Dixon, Jonathan Stewart. Like I loved a lot of the West. The old school Pac-12 football was where I cut my teeth in college ball. That was my favorite thing. And then I got exposed to SEC later when it got a little more fun and less joyless murder ball. But I always respected it because I loved watching guys like Tyrann Mathieu and Rolando McClain just deal out punishment on a daily basis in the SEC. So I'm a little bit of a college football history nerd. Like I love a lot of stuff, but at the same time, it's like I respect the players thing in the NFL because unless you have a staked reason why, and I mean, listen, you do have one with the Falcons, but for where you work and for who you went to school, where you went to school and everything else, your connections, it makes way too much sense to just also root for those guys as well.
And I was going to say too, as an SEC girl living on the West Coast, I am going to forever miss Pac-12 after dark. I know, the Big Ten realignment is supposed to be great for. I can't even speak to the specifics of why the Big Ten realignment was supposed to be great. But all I know is as a thing, I know. I know.
I'll say it. I'll say the words out loud. You don't have to. It's fine.
I know. But as a fan, there is there's nothing like SEC football, but there is nothing like Pac-12 after dark. I mean, I don't even. It's like the energy, the vibe, the quadruple / quintuple overtimes that we would get sometimes.
Yeah.
Like
I'd be up to 3 o'clock in the morning watching football. I'd love it.
Literally, the games would be on so late, even from a West Coast perspective. I would wake up in the morning because 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock your time, 12 o'clock East Coast time. Start watching football at 9 a.m. and sometimes Pac-12 after dark overtime games would still be on at 1 o'clock, like the next morning. So I miss that. I mean, and not that there aren't some games that are going to still go late, but the big players in the Pac-12 are now in the Big Ten. So rest in peace, Pac-12 after dark.
We did get a little post appetite. Which I hit on that, by the way. I said, take Hawaii at home. I like the -2.5. I just went straight money line because I was being a chicken. But me and Matt went 5 for 5 on Saturday, and we were Deion Sanders high stepping our way into the Today Show. We're like, eyes ran. I even told my barber because she's like, "Who you taking on Saturday?" I'm like, I read it off. She goes, "Set." I'm like, she goes, "Yeah, I'm gonna use your tip as my bet money." I'm like, "You're the worst." And then she texted me at 1 o'clock in the morning. Thanks for the free 60. I'm like, I'm here to help.
We clearly didn't listen to anything that you said on that betting panel since we did parlays, but we still made out.
It's okay. Listen, it's okay. But that's Stanford Hawaii game. Full disclosure, I was asleep because I had been traveling cross country on a quick trip back home, and so I think I last saw the score when it was. And I saw it was 10-0, Stanford 10, Hawaii 0, and then I think I was at the beach, and then it was like 14 Hawaii, Stanford 13. I was like, okay, I'm feeling good. And then I woke up as Hawaii was kicking the field goal. I'm like, I am glad I did not have to sweat that out because that would have been fun, but devastating to have to sit through.
I mean,
and the kicker said that he learned how to kick field goals off of YouTube videos too. Like right before he was about to kick the game-winning field goal. Like, by the way, he taught himself how to kick field goals off of YouTube videos, and then boom, just hits the game winner.
Gotta love it. College football, Pac-12, not after dark, but Pac-12 in the mid-afternoon.
We got a Pac-12 resurrection at least for 1 week. I mean, listen, I got my own experience last year. Cam Ward's 24-point comeback against Cal. Our producer Nate's hiding a little bit. He was a Cal fan last year.
Nice to meet you, Erica.
Hello. Nice to meet you, Nate.
He was talking so much crap in the chat, and then I texted him F around and F out the acronyms because I was like, I saw that look in Cam Ward's eyes. I'm like, oh, they're done. they're done. Yeah. I'm also off of what you said. I am a makeshift Titans fan this year because of my boy Cam Ward. So like I got to pull for him a little bit. And also I've always had a thing for the Titans, even going as far back as like Eddie George and Chris Johnson.
Okay.
Like, so like I've always kind of resonated with the Titans a little bit. They've always kind of drafted players I liked in college.
Jake Locker, Zach Mettenberger, joking.
Yeah, you go.
That one hurts, man. He was such a good player, but he had more CTE than Antonio Brown. Oh. Yeah, and it wasn't even like he turned into the comedy career. The poor guy just needed a break.
Yeah. Good luck with those Titans, though. I don't have anything for you there, but good luck.
Listen, they're one of my dark horse teams because I think the AFC South is so bad. They're going to start. It's addition by subtraction. Where I think the Jaguars are going to hit some growing pains. I think Trevor Lawrence is the most overrated quarterback in football. I've been saying that, banging that drum since his freshman year. I said this kid's not progressing at all. His reads haven't changed. He still goes through the same drop. You could like slap his next to each other, and except for that one Doug Peterson year where Peterson, known to break bad quarterback habits, as far back as Wentz and even going back to the Chiefs years with Matt Castle, drops back. I see him make the correct throw and hits it, and everything's great. Then they lose to the Chiefs, and everything just spins around. And he's back to the same Trevor Lawrence I saw at 18 years old, smoke Alabama with an overstocked Clemson team.
I honestly, I had been saying that same thing. Who was the quarterback that he replaced? Was it Kelly at Clemson? He came in for
Kelly Bryant.
Kelly Bryant. Mm-hmm. I have been saying the same thing since he was at Clemson, but it wasn't a popular take, and his numbers looked good, but as much as I don't want to say despise, as much as I dislike a lot of things about Dabo, one thing he does is he can coach, and his coaches can coach. And so I really do think that Trevor Lawrence, I mean, excuse me for sounding like someone who's saying that he benefited from the system that he was in, but I think Clemson's system really helped prop him up. And that was not a popular take, especially because I think he's had one solid enough season. Didn't they make the playoffs his rookie year? Am I making that up?
Second year, first year they're awful, and then wasn't his rookie year? No,
rookie year was the Urban Meyer year.
Oh, okay.
That was bad.
Every time
he had Doug Peterson got him a big deal, and then he kind of came back down to reality.
Urban Meyer.
So
not many built like him.
So I've kind of been on that Trevor Lawrence hate train for a second. And I mean, I think he's a serviceable quarterback. I mean, he probably will be excellent as a backup at some point in the next 2-3 years. Let's not say 2-3 years, but soon.
There we go. Him and Carson went to Zach Wilson, go run the UFL for the next 10 years.
Don't hate on the UFL. You know how I feel about the UFL.
I know. Listen, we love the UFL. Like, Matt's team won this year. My team crapped the bed in the first round. I'm not going to talk about it.
And mine was 1-7.
Yeah, Nate can't hit on a team he's picked.
The poor Nate picks a team week 1 and they got smoked by 30. He goes, I hate this.
And his
just ride with the Stallions.
No, you didn't. You didn't pick the Stallions. You picked the Brahmas. Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Now he's a Defenders fan.
And then I've been a Battlehawks fan since like 2020 because I have a buddy who works on a military base out in that direction. He kind of got us into them. Always kind of dug their uniforms, like the whole helmets and everything else. Oh, yeah. And I liked a lot of the players. And also Hakeem Butler. I wished he worked out in Philadelphia. He was an animal.
I know.
Arizona just can't develop talent anyway. So I mean, but back to the topic, Hank, because we're going to go off on 45 tangents because this is an ADHD laden show. At least
I listen. I can vibe with an ADHD vibe, but I do want to say my dark horse. That was what I kind of talked about. I kind of talked about this at the Fantasy Football Expo.
Yeah,
the Texans are my dark horse. Maybe I didn't talk about it, but if I didn't, here I am now. Back at the Expo, which was two weeks ago, the Texans were like plus 115 to win the AFC South, as you've already mentioned. A lackluster conference kind of sucks, like you said, win by subtraction or whatever. But the Texans are now plus 105 to win the AFC South. So I think people are now kind of getting in on them. They have one of the weakest schedules in the league this year. What else do I like about them? Cam Ward, okay, I do respect his talent, his athleticism, but for the Titans as an organization to bounce back from that beyond dismal year and really be impactful this year in that conference, In that division, I don't see it. And then Colts, the Colts, they have all their quarterback issues. You can call me a Gator hater, but I was never high on Anthony Richardson either.
I wasn't either. I think the kid's got natural born talent, but he has no work ethic, at least from what we've seen.
At least from what we've seen, yes. So not high on the Colts, not high on the Titans, regards to your Titans. And then we just talked about Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars. And even though, Jacksonville is kind of like my pseudo home team because my hometown is an hour from Jacksonville. So we kind of root for the Jaguars too. I think that this will be the dark horse season for the Texans. Last year was a regression year for CJ. I think this year is going to be the year that he bounces back. So that's my dark horse. That's my dark horse.
I like it a lot. And honestly, I'm a big Texans protector. Obviously, I am a big CJ Stroud guy. I love everything about his character and how he is as a quarterback. I love how he always just seemed to bounce back, even from Ohio State up to the pros. But I went a little deeper with mine, and I want to bounce off you. And it has to do with your boy Brock Bowers, because we talked about this at the Expo. I'm a big Geno Smith stan. I love Geno's attitude. I love his leadership. As much as you can say, now they just went and got Amari Cooper. I mean, yes, he might be getting out of a wheelchair to go run a route, but he's still one of the best route runners in the league, even at like plus 30. He's still in great shape. And honestly, with Ashton Genty, Brock Bowers, I love Beck out of Texas Christian. It's not, and if they can just tell Jacoby Mowers to shut up and just get back in the lineup and just give it a chance. Just give it a chance, because I think they're going to be a 10-7 team and probably beat the Broncos out for that last wildcard team, because I'm not sold on Bo Nix. The tape tells me that everyone's going to figure him out early, because Sean Payton's system predicates itself on elite quarterback play, and Bo Nix is a Toyota Corolla. That's what he's solid, but he's not. Drew Brees is a turbocharged Roush Mustang compared to Bo Nix. So
Bo Nix is a Toyota Corolla presently, or he was the last time we saw him. But does that mean he doesn't have the upside to become a Lexus GX350?
I go off of what I've seen jump to year to year. So a guy like Jalen Hurts or Matthew Stafford, who's made huge jumps between off-season pros and in the college ranks, I'm more likely to give them the benefit of the doubt preseason, same with a CJ Stroud or even a Cam Ward or hell, even a Geno Smith to a certain extent. My biggest issue was with Bo Nix. I feel like we've seen his ceiling based off of what I saw at Oregon, at Auburn, where it's okay, he was a scrub, but he took a while out of the way. Sean Payton kind of refined that, but there's still God-given talent that I think he lacks in certain things, where guys like Breeze or guys like Stroud or anybody who's really been in the Sean Payton system specifically, you can go back to the Dallas days when he worked under Parcells, where there's a lot of, I don't see the wow. He is basically a more athletic and a better leading Gardner Minshew, less dumb mistakes, but the frame and the arm strength are identical. He's just faster and he's a better
and bigger. And bigger.
Yes. They're both 6'1". Minshew's not a tiny guy. He's just, but my whole point was the God-given skill talent. He's got a little more mobility. I can honestly say he's Tannehill. That's honestly, I think his ceiling is to me, which isn't bad, but that's not going to beat out a loaded Kansas City team, or if Jim Harbaugh ever figures out Justin Herbert in the playoffs. But yeah, I'm not going to disagree with any of that. But if we're talking about Toyota Corollas, would you call Brock Purdy a Toyota Corolla? Camry, a little bigger engine.
Okay. So
you went to the worst. I'm a big anti-Brock Purdy guy. I think he is a game manager with good weapons and a good offense coordinator.
So that's kind of my point. That is kind of my point about Bo. Brock Purdy with his talent, however high or low you are on Brock's talent, with the right coaches, the right staff, the right weapons around him, was able to do some shit that no one thought Mr. Irrelevant was going to be able to do. Now,
which I give credit for, totally.
So I'm just saying, I'm not saying that Bo Nix is a GX Lexus or, anything higher than the Toyota Lexus family.
I was going to say I tripped a Corolla. I wasn't going to say no little hoopty like my sister drove in college. I'm saying some a decent looking, off the lot, 32K, what are the nicer looking ones? A floor model, it's my biggest issue is, and I'll leave it at this now. I have 1,000 other questions to ask you, but I think the quarterback jump between the Staffords, the Hurts, the Burrows, the Jacksons, and everything else. There's a tier of about 8 quarterbacks that are separated into their own 2 tiers. And then there's 40 feet of crap, to quote Billy Beane. And then there's everyone else, spearheaded by the Dak Prescotts of the world and the Brock Purdy's, etc. Like Dak can put up stupid numbers, but he can't, he's about as useful in the playoffs as a busted supercar. It doesn't really help you.
Yeah.
So I think that's what separates him from like a guy who he outperforms statistically, like Hurts or even Stafford to some degree, but they win when it matters. Like Stafford gave me the biggest scare in the playoffs. Like I was ready to jump through a roof when they got inside the red zone. And then, your boy Jalen Carter just did the Lord's work and sent us the NFC title game. But so I guess it's long story short. I think that's my theory about Bo Nix is that his ceiling is much like a guy where you're going to get we've seen
it. Okay. Yeah. I think we're on the same page. We're on the same page. Okay.
All right. I'm curious about, we talked about over-unders, obviously, in terms of stats when we were at the conference. This rookie class, and I just did a fantasy draft on Saturday. I had a buddy of mine who took 5 rookies. 3 of them were actually in this question I'm about to ask you. But are there any rookies that you like just to have crazy surprise seasons that maybe aren't the Cam Wards and the Ashton Genties?
A crazy surprise. Maybe this might be not what you're asking me, but I am very fascinated and interested in what Travis Hunter is going to do and how Jacksonville uses him.
I am too.
I think how Jacksonville uses him this year and how successful he is at each position could set up the future of players playing two-way and getting drafted the way that he was, seen. And this is not an exact parallel, but I think about how Steph Curry shooting from beyond the arc changed the game. It changed how we guard, like I play in the NBA. It changed how players guard. It changes how kids these days shoot and sometimes don't play defense because they think all the game is about shooting freaking, from the logo. I can see Travis Hunter having that same kind of generational impact on the game if it works out that way. Yeah. So that would be like the main one. Then the Shadeur conversation. I think
I'm gonna get off this one.
Wait, what's happening here? What's happening?
Oh, I'm sorry, because as you know, the celebration he does, I love it.
We just don't have.
Watch.
Yes.
He's holding the G-Shock at this point, but
I don't know to watch.
I don't think. Obviously, he's not going to ever start. I say obviously, but I mean, I don't see a world in which he starts this season for the Browns. But I also think his impact from like a social media influencer perspective. I think that's going to be interesting because I think that the Browns organization is not the best or the most well-run organization. So having to be sensitive to having a superstar like Shadeur Sanders on your roster and look at him from beyond just a football perspective and handle him in the way that you should from like a marketing and PR perspective, that I think is going to have a huge impact too. Because let's say, like, I'm not saying this, but let's say that Shadeur absolutely sucks. Well, what do you do with him? He's Deion Sanders' son. He's, an influencer. He has national commercials. He has his jersey retired for better or for worse at Colorado. Like, how do you handle that from a marketing perspective? Like, do you fumble the bag and get rid of this guy who's bringing eyes onto your organization because from a football perspective, he's not performing? Or do you keep him around to keep up the circus because a part of football is entertainment? I don't know.
So I look at, when I evaluate quarterbacks in the draft process, I always look from a strategic of, I don't care where you went to school.
Okay.
I care about what your last name is. I want to see what's on tape. And my biggest issue, I don't care about stats because completion percentages lie. Cam Ward said it best in the training video, 80% of your throws were screen passes or bubble screens. And he isn't wrong.
That's fair.
My biggest issue with Shadeur was he relied too much on his athleticism and his pocket escaping. And you saw against the Rams when their backups were in his grill within 5 seconds because he's running back and forth like he's doing like a pivot drill like his Keem Olajuwon. Like, dude, read the ball. It's not rocket science.
But Jared, but he did what he played that way at Colorado because he didn't have a choice.
But I'm saying this is my only thing. The guy he's competing with, Dylan Gabriel, had an elite offensive line at Oregon, was not used to getting rushed like this. But when I watched him throw, for better or worse, the dude's pocket presence was immaculate because he stepped up, made the read and throw. Was it always on time there? No, but that's what training and being a backup is for. Neither of them were ever going to start this year. We're kidding ourselves. We thought because they went and traded for Kenny Pickett. For better or worse, he started. He's a Super Bowl winner. Joe Flacco, MVP candidate, Super Bowl winner. He may have an AARP card, but he's still a Super Bowl winner. So So I think the biggest thing with the Browns is I think the marketing idea, genius, right? It is. I think it's the best take for it because Jimmy Haslam has proven selling tickets and making money and getting views is just as important as winning games. He didn't care about the Deshaun Watson story because they were still getting views. Like in the thing with Junkins and Bond, they're both in a little legal trouble. They've both been absolved. They'll both be on the roster within a week or so. That's never been an issue to the Haslams. I think what is happening now, and I think this is what I think the NFL will also take a breath because everyone's so up in arms about the Shadeur thing. And my mother, who barely watches the draft, goes, she wanted to watch for Cam Ward. Because she watched. Okay. Yeah. And she goes, why aren't they covering Cam? He got drafted first. I'm like, it's a long story. It's because Deion's kid's terrible and he's going to get drafted in the 4th round. That's why I said day one.
Wait a second. Wait. He's terrible.
I had it. Listen, this was after the show.
I was very much.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I love the kid. I love the kid's confidence. I think he's got a lot of future in this league, but he's got to take a chill pill. Really, like if I'm in a
chill pill though, define chill pill. Like, what has he done to make you say he needs to take a chill pill?
Your brand. Keep doing podcasts with your brother. Shiloh is the funniest human being that came out in the draft this year. I love Shadeur Sanders. I think
Shiloh got cut.
Yeah, go sign him because you know what? Those two together on a practice field will be hilarious. But my biggest issue with Shadeur is there was so much hype. He built up so much hype for himself. And I felt bad how far he fell. I really did feel bad. I'm like, okay, 2nd or 3rd round is maybe as far as you should go. And I'm like, okay, this is getting ridiculous. Just pick him already. But I think the reason why it annoys me is I think his fan base has started to annoy me more than the actual player. Because I'm like, guys, he seems like a good, well-adjusted kid. He seems like he cares a lot about the game of football. And Deion raised him right. He's just not to the level of the guys he's on the same roster as. And I think these fans, and I'm sick of the Shadeur takes. I'm like, guys, let him develop. Give him a year. He may be elite next year, but sitting behind Flacco. We don't know. So I think there's where my axe to grind starts.
Okay.
It's because I think he kind of, for better or for worse, kind of got a humble pie, giant, like extra large slice during the draft because it became, and he even got pranked. The poor kid got pranked. Like that sucked.
Yeah, that was less than ideal. I think I'm going to come back one day so we can just have a whole 45 minutes.
You're welcome back, obviously. But
okay. Yeah.
But I wanted to before. I think the last thing we'll do before we got to educate our viewers about betting on NASCAR because a lot of us, besides understanding the Daytona 500 and Talladega are a thing, we don't know much of how you gamble besides gambling on winners. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. My last quick question for you, because I know we only got a few minutes left. Who are your picks and your dark horses for the AFC and NFC West?
I'm trying to think about who I picked in one of my drafts.
Hold on, let me Chiefs for the AFC West. I won't call it chalk.
I'm looking at my futures and props league roster right now to make sure I don't deviate too far from that because like you do so many fantasy drafts and I'm like, well, I can't get on this podcast and say this is who I'm backing, but in reality, this is not really who I back. Okay. AFC West, my dark horse. Do the Chargers count as a dark horse?
No, they're not predicted. Their odds are, I think, only 50 points higher than the Broncos. That's still a dark horse to me.
Okay, so Chargers, and then in the NFC West, not the Seahawks. San Fran. I mean, wait, is San Fran favorite or is it the Rams favorite right now? Let me look.
I think the Rams are I think the fourth highest favorite in the NFC. If I'm right, I think like they're up there with Tampa, Philly, and Detroit.
Okay, hold on, because I'm gonna go San Francisco if that makes sense.
Oh, it does.
Okay, well, yeah. So San Francisco and then the Chargers. I'm gonna go all California teams, my dark horses in the AFC and the NFC West.
There you go. I mean, like
keep it Cali.
West Coast.
Nate's a Cali kid, so he's loving this right now.
Oh, nice. Okay.
All right. So we're gonna send you off obviously on a high note. So you do a lot of work with gambling in
yes,
and did drop a little hint about Bubba Wallace finishing, I believe, was top 10, right? That was the bet from this week.
And he did not even finish. Okay, so here, let me just full disclosure. I really wanted to go either Chris Buescher or Alex Bowman top 10. Okay. Now, Alex Bowman also did not finish in the top 10, but Chris Buescher finished 7th. But the only reason I didn't pick Chris Buescher was because I was flying and the odds were, the odds change like every minute, every second. I was flying and I could not see Chris Buescher's updated odds. And I did not want to give a pick for odds, I hadn't even seen. I could have, but but that Bubba pick completely was off the rails. I was just trying to ride the Bubba momentum because he's gotten some momentum since he won at the Brickyard a few weeks ago. But my pocket change picks means that you don't bet a lot of money, just literally what's in your pocket. $5, $10, $1. Yeah. But my other two hit.
Yeah, they're exactly.
My NASCAR knowledge is like Dale Earnhardt Jr., Jeff Gordon. I don't even remember if it's Jimmy or Tony Stewart, but it's one of those Stewarts. Tony Stewart, Cal Naughton Jr., Ricky Bobby, and Shake and Bake. That's all I know.
Shake and Bake, Talladega. I will say this. I love NASCAR. I grew up in South Georgia, so I grew up around it culturally. I'm very familiar with it, even though I didn't start covering it until about 4 years ago. It's a part of, the fabric of how I grew up. And a lot of people with very valid reason are turned off from the sport because of some of the cultural implications over the past X amount of years of history of the sport. However, with that being said, when it comes down to a strictly what's happening on the track and then some of the storylines off the track, it is a really fascinating sport to follow. One thing I always tell people who don't know a lot about NASCAR is that I liken the pit crews to, let's say, a quarterback's offensive line, because the jackmen, the guys who put gas in the cars, the guys who change the tires, the tire changers, all those guys have to be successful in order for the driver to be successful. So when you see the Denny Hamlins, the Bubba Wallaces, the Kyle Larsons, the Tyler Reddicks, the Shane Van Gisbergens, like their success and their wins almost completely rely on their pit crew and then their strategists who sit up in the pit box and watch the race and phone in or radio in to them some of the strategy that they need to adhere to win. So it's a very fascinating sport to get involved in, to watch as a fan, to go actually watch in person, and then to bet on.
I want to try to get into it. I'm not the biggest to watch a race like live. Like if I see like there's like a trend of people taking a certain guy to look at it, but I've always wanted to go to race live. That seems like such a cool.
It is so much fun. I liken it to a county fair, depending on which race you're going to, but they're all, pretty similar as far as like being these grand events. There's music, there's food, there's barbecue, there's beer, there's merchandise, and the tracks are so big, and they do the league does such a fantastic job of using the space, like maximizing the space with the vendors and the different sites and performances. And then the infield performances last year at Phoenix for the championship, and Nelly performed for like an hour. And when I tell you, I was like, teenage me was just on cloud 9 listening to like all the hits that I forgot about. So it can be a whole vibe. Like it's It's a whole experience. And one thing about NASCAR that is very different from other sports, there's so much access. Like you can literally be walking the track before the race and like brush shoulders with Kyle Busch or Denny Hamlin. And you don't get that. You don't get that in the NBA or the NFL. Like you don't. So
that's really cool. All right, listen, Eric, I know your time is short. Where can all of my amazing and loyal listeners find or listen to the show, find you on social media?
Yeah, you can find me on social at Erica Renee D. That's ERICA RENEED. I do want to take one step back though, Jared, and I can come back another day to talk more about it. You were talking about NASCAR betting, and you only know how to pick winners. When you start getting into NASCAR betting, not only should you budget your bankroll to very minimal on the winners, outright winners, because it's really hard to pick, but look at look at markets like top 3, top 5, top 10 and head to heads, because those are typically spots where you can make some money. And those are also spots where you can find an edge from one book to the next. So from Caesars to BetMGM to FanDuel to DK, you can typically find an edge in those markets, 3, 5, 10 and head to heads.
Awesome. All right. That's actually some really good advice, because I feel like it's less one versus the field. It's 1-on-1, or 3 or 4 have to make it's. I like those odds a little more than picking winners. Ladies and gentlemen, Erica Renee Davis. Erica, you're welcome back anytime you want. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
You too.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's Erica Renee Davis. Absolutely phenomenal interview. We appreciate her for staying an extra minute or 3 past her time. That was incredible. Great interview. We appreciate her coming on and actually coming on live. We got to talk AFC, NFC West. I want to say one thing, though, and it's a point she brought up, and we'll start with the Broncos, okay? I'm down on the Broncos this year, fellas. I'm going to tell you exactly why. Like I said when Erica was here, I do not trust Bo Nix. I think he is a very ceiling-capped quarterback. I don't think it's bad, but I think he falls more in the range of high-end being a more mobile, less arm talent Brock Purdy, lower end being a more physically gifted Colt McCoy. That is his range to me, which is fine. That's going to win you games, but that's not beating Justin Herbert with a good offense. That's not beating Mahomes. And hell, that's 50-50 against Geno if Amari Cooper even plays half of what he could. And Jacoby Myers stays. So my biggest issue right now with the Broncos is they're the only team that, and realistically, I like Harvey as a running back, but I'm not the biggest fan of picking up JK. I really want him to stay healthy. I've never rooted so hard for an Ohio State guy to succeed in the NFL, but that poor guy's knees are made of glass. At least they have been, or his Achilles and everything. And you know what? He's such a good running back. His college football playoff performance is second to none for running backs. Maybe only Zeke's better. I think my biggest issue with the Broncos is there's a lot of unknowns. I don't love their weapons. I don't love their defense. They've got some good players, and they've got the best cornerback in football. But how much is that going to get you past 8 or 9 wins? I would love to be proven wrong, but also guys are going to have a tape on Bo Nix. I think the 2 quarterbacks that are going to have the biggest slump are the most successful. Nix, and I think Jaden Daniels, unfortunately for him, the Eagles kind of gave the NFL a blueprint how to keep him from massacring your secondary. So it's going to be interesting. Fellas, thoughts on the Broncos?
I like the Broncos. I think there's real potential for them to pretty much do what they did last year, just get about 10-7, maybe squeak into a wild card. Mm-hmm. I agree with what you're saying with the offense. You got Bo Nix, obviously. If J.K. Dobbins could be anything close to what he was last year when he was healthy with the Chargers, I think that would be great for him. But realistically, I'm already looking at Harvey and McLaughlin as options because history shows J.K. Dobbins is not going to, unfortunately, make it the full year. Cortland Sutton, I love at the receiver position, obviously. But after that, it's a little – you got Marvin Mims, Troy Franklin, Trent Sherfield Jr., so it's kind of not the greatest receiver room. Evan Ingram, I think, is an underrated tight end. He's just a very fast-paced guy. When he's not dropping the passes, he is a very efficient and very solid and serviceable tight end. I think that would be really good for them, considering the last couple of years they've been going with Dolchik and things like that. So they finally actually have a tight end. The defense I like. The defense I like, and I think the defense is going to be a big reason as to why they'll have the success that they might have. John Franklin Myers is a defensive lineman that nobody really knows, and I know about him because he was a Jets guy. But
I know
he is a fantastic. He's a guy that can get you, 6, 7, 8 sacks if he wants to, but he is a fantastic run stopper. They got Dre Greenlaw over there, Nick Benito, Pat Surtain, Talanoa Hufanga, and they got a lot of good little key pieces over there as well. Yeah. And I think they have potential to go at least 10-7 in that division. And I looked at their schedule; they've got the 13th ranked easiest schedule, I believe, right now. So I think signs could point to them maybe repeating at a 10-7 kind of record to me.
I like it. Nate, thoughts on the Broncos? I know obviously we're a little behind you guys when it comes to NFC West, AFC West. You guys did what, 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, we did. But yeah, I honestly have the same thoughts as Matt in terms of Knicks and the Broncos. Look, I get your thoughts on Knicks for sure, boss, for sure. And there's times during his rookie season where he didn't look that great. He definitely needs to work on making better reads compared to last year. And I think it does help though that he spent the offseason with a couple of legends, Drew Brees, Tom Brady, for example. That's what I looked up when I did my research. But Sutton's receiver number 1, he's great. Everyone else behind him, well, maybe Pat Bryant is something. Who knows? I mean, he was drafted.
I'm a big Pat Bryant guy, so I'll double you up on that.
No, perfect, cool. He's good. Ingram's, he's a solid addition. I know him from his Giants days, and he wasn't that great, but thank God he's turned it around. Dobbins and Harvey in the backfield, that's going to be good for him for sure. And then Sean Payton's obviously a coach that that's his guy. So I think overall, I have confidence in Knicks that he'll take the next step. And he was the 64th best player in the NFL last year, according to his peers. So I think overall, I like him. I do. Probably not ready to make it past the wild card round. But I think for me, they'll definitely make the postseason, but just not make it past the wild card round.
I think they'll be one of the first teams out. I just think that the jump of New England, Las Vegas, possibly even Tennessee, it also like Los Angeles, we're going to talk about next. There's a lot of teams in the AFC who got better.
They'll sneak in. They'll sneak in. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So we're not really going to talk about the Chiefs, and this is no disrespect to Chiefs Kingdom, but we know you guys are good. We know who you guys have. It's just a matter of you guys got Rice and hopefully for more than 4 games.
Will they make the AFC Championship? I think that's one question we can answer about them, boss.
Probably. Let's be honest. I swear that whatever evil contract they signed 5 years ago, they've probably got 2 or 3 more on that punch card. Now, they're clearly screwed if they play a team with a good pass rush in the championship, but they did try to address the offensive line a little bit, and they did try to actually, hopefully the receivers stay healthy for their sake. But
they're weaker for sure. They're weaker for sure.
Oh, yeah. But listen, you know what? We never count the Wiley champs out. We did this with New England. They ended up winning in 2018. So we thought they were a wounded animal, and they still made a run. So that is
the Chiefs, all you need to know is that as long as Andy Reid is still the head coach and Pat Mahomes is still the quarterback, expect at least, no matter what they have for a team, 12 wins.
They're the 3rd seed. They're the hardest out in the playoffs, and
they're probably 13-4. Yeah, 13-4.
No, I would say maybe let's say 12-5, 11-6. Let's be real here. I don't think they're going to get all those 50-50 balls like they did last year. I think that the eyes are too much on them because of how badly they were exposed for their flaws. I think they don't catch those coins again. Coin flips, get it? I think the Raiders will sneak one from them. I think the Chargers will as well. I think we're going to see a different Chiefs team. I think the Chiefs team is going to be grittier and meaner, but I don't think they're going to be as deadly depending on their healthy receivers. Now, a healthy Rice, a healthy Worthy. Oh, okay, that's scary. But I think
a well-behaved Rice.
Yes, right. Well worded. I appreciate that.
Got you, boss.
But it's basically on the Chiefs. You know what you're getting. They're going to be a playoff team. Yeah. Now, are they going to win the division by 5 games like they did a couple years ago? No, but are they going to win it? Probably. They're my pick to win the AFC West. I mean, I'd love to see Las Vegas get it, or even like Los Angeles Chargers, because that would just throw every Justin Herbert guy into a meat grinder of emotion. He apparently does wine nights with Madison Beer now, so that's a thing. Good for him. For she's a very beautiful lady and very talented one at that too. But say, hey, listen, Chargers. It's Amari and Hampton time. The amount of hype this guy is getting is insane to me. I love he's getting this much love because I think he's a very talented halfback in this draft. I would like to see Jim Harbaugh not abuse him to the point of where he's broken by year 5. But we don't know the health of Najee Harris yet. Apparently, jokes aside, we hope he's in good health, but there's not been a lot on Najee Harris post-firework accident. So, yeah. But
I have him in fantasy. Oh.
Yeah, listen, I have a guy on my team took Hampton in the 2nd round, and then he took Najee Harris in the 12th. So I'm going to handicap myself. I'm going to go for it, bro. On a 19-man roster, why not? My biggest thing with the Chargers is how do they perform in crunch time? I love the Trey Harris draft pick. I think it was a great move. I love he's a big physical guy who can get down vertically. Most Ole Miss receivers do translate well to the NFL East at some level. Big fan of Lab McConkey as always. And you know what? I'll believe in Johnston one more time. Why not? But it's not a bad receiving core. I think it's the best one he's had probably since his 2nd or 3rd year at Oregon. So we'll see what happens. I think that Herbert really needs to find his inner Jalen Hurts in the playoffs. Or at least his inner Joe Burrow, where he can actually get the plays made to get a field goal kicked. But I like them a lot. I think they're an 11-win team. I think they're going to run the daylights out of the ball, and that play action is going to be there all day for Herbert. Yes, Nathan.
Can I say breaking news if that's okay?
Sure.
Ooh.
The Browns are sending Kenny Pickett to the Raiders.
Ooh.
And then there were 3. Sorry.
Well, I guess Gabriel's the backup then. Huh.
Shadeur got a spot up. Ooh.
Well, listen, congrats, Shadeur, for making the starting roster. Congratulations.
Hey.
I still think both quarterbacks. I still think both quarterbacks are going to get some playing time this season at some point.
You know what? I think Shadeur could be like a last game of the season kind of thing.
Yeah, I was going to say, even if it's one game, I still think.
Bill and Gabriel might get a little more. I think they're actually really high on Gabriel, so that I think they're going to let him cut his teeth out there. And if he's terrible, they put Shadeur in.
I don't dislike what the Browns even did drafting the 2 of them, because at that point, one of them's got to be their answer, hopefully.
Teams have done this in the past. The Seahawks have done it before. So have the Commanders back when they were called another thing. I believe the 49ers did as well with the Brockett ship and Trey Lance. I believe that was the same draft class, right? Yeah.
I just feel bad for the present because it's like Jared, if I ask you, who's your starting quarterback? You say, oh, Jalen Hurts. And we're like, oh, cool. I asked Matt, it's Justin Fields. Oh, we're so excited. You ask a Browns fan, it's Joe Flacco. And everyone's just like, oh.
Unless your name is Chris Lipoff, and then you're like burning trees and
you're
like, Flacco! You know what? The fact that Flacco played for us for about 17 days and Chris doesn't have a Joe Flacco Eagles t-shirt is blasphemy.
All right. Going back to the Chargers. Because we have that ADHD in all of us. But I like the offense a lot. My issue is I got them as like a 10-7 team, I think. I'm just not really high on the defense. I think the defense as a whole, the secondary, I think that'll be a little bit of an Achilles heel for them going into the season. They do have a fairly tough schedule, I believe, coming into this year. Derwin James has to stay healthy. But after that, I just don't think it's a top 15 type defense. I could be wrong. I hope I am. But I love Herbert, obviously. I think I'm really excited for Marion Hampton. Lab McConkey, I'm a big fan. They also brought back Keenan Allen. That's some familiarity with Justin Herbert. Will Dissly is obviously, I think, the tight end 1 right now, but don't sleep on Tyler Conklin. He's a very shifty guy. He's got a speed. He's got good hands. And then that offensive line should be all right. I mean, I know they just lost Rashawn Slater, but your buddy, our boy Mekhi Becton's in there at the right guard position, and they still got Joel and everything. So I think this is at least a 10-7 potential wild card.
Went to the Saints.
He's on the Los Angeles Chargers depth chart.
Oh,
right now.
Thank God! I'm so much happier now. I all offseason. I don't know why I think he was rumored to go to the Saints, and I just kind of put that in the back of my mind and kept walking when he didn't resign. I was like, all right, so. But thank God, Mekhi back to
Thank God, right, boss? Because he was going to go from a great team to
Kellen. I feel so bad for Kellen Moore. I'm like, dude, I know this is your first shot at a head coaching job, but holy crap, you are basically gonna be handed like the Bad News Bears of football.
Spencer Rattler. Speaking
of fun teams that aren't Bad News Bears, the sneaky the Las Vegas Raiders. I keep saying Oakland. You know what? I'll just keep saying Oakland. What they did to the city of Oakland. Oh, crap. Anyway, I love Geno. I've said it before. I'll say it again. They didn't write back though, and you know what? When he came out and double birded Seahawks fans for giving him crap, that guy got you to 3 straight playoff appearances. Sometimes with terrible defenses and terrible O-lines. Sure. Seahawks are in for a very rough season with Sammy D. I'm going to tell you right now. We're going to talk about that.
I don't disagree.
No, they're going to love him for 5 games, and then everything's going to be great.
And then they're going to say they missed Geno, and it's going to be just really bad. Anyway, Ashton Genty is a monster. That dude runs like he's angry at the world, not at the ground like Pacheco or at defenders like Derrick Henry. This dude runs like he's angry at the universe and he wants to make it everyone's problem. Like I said, the addition of Amari Cooper, and if they can keep Jacoby Myers, this is a great receiving core. It went from okay to solid I think the Cooper move is great because even if he's 60% of what he used to be, that's still a great number 2. I love Jack Beck. I think he's one of the best young receivers in this class. And you know what? Like I don't hate Myers. He's one of the best slot receivers. And you throw in Brock Bowers, the best tight end in football. Listen, Geno Smith has won games throwing to lawn chairs.
Noah Fant.
Yeah.
Dude, I could name you the tight ends he had in the Jets, and none of them were spectacular. Jeff Cumberland was one of them. I think he had. Well, no, he didn't have. He might have had Austin Seferian-Jenkins, but that might have been after he was.
Carroll defense, which means they're going to just suffocate you over the top. And Chip Kelly, the OC, I may hate Chip Kelly with a burning passion as a GM and a coach. As an offensive coordinator, he's pretty damn good. He's going to have Geno getting that ball out really quick, a lot of carries to Genty, and there's going to be a lot of quick options and a lot of quick throws, and you're going to see a fun Raiders offense. I didn't even mention Chip Kelly when Erica was here, because I think that's one of the biggest selling points to me is like they have a veteran OC who specializes in getting that ball out quickly and to lesser talented players a la Oregon receivers back in like 2014, 2013, when they weren't like an elite receiving threat. Now they, of course, get like 5 stars. But back then, Jeff Mayle and Devin Allen were their best receivers, like in those teams. So
it's like a broken record, but I feel like every team besides the Chiefs in this division has potential to go like 10-7. Because I was down on the Raiders because I'm obviously just not a big fan of that defense outside of a handful of guys. I'm just not a fan really of that secondary. I think they're going to still need some building pieces through the draft and free agency next year to enhance that defensive production. But Geno Smith has shown to be a very serviceable, solid starting quarterback under Pete Carroll, and he returns to reunite with him. I think that's going to be music to the ears of Raiders fans for that combo. Ashton Genty, obviously number 1 running back in that draft. Yep. Amari Cooper, Jacoby Myers, Trey Tucker, and Jack Beck is a pretty solid receiving core if that all stays together. And obviously, like you said, Brock Bowers and even Michael Mayer behind him. It's not even a bad option either. Yeah. So I think they're going to have a fun offense. I think it could be similar to like the Bengals where they had a fun offense, but they had a defense that just kind of couldn't always keep them in the game. We'll see how their defense goes. They're a scrappy team, and they're probably going to play really hard. So I think there's potential for 9-8, 10-7 with that team as well.
Their defense will lose some games for sure.
I think Pete Carroll is the X factor in terms of defense, where he's going to find ways to put everyone in the best positions to stop the ball. Now, it's going to rely on talent to actually make the stop. But listen, he took a bunch of 4th and 5th round guys up in Seattle and made the most terrifying defense I've seen probably in a long time. The only one I think I'm more scared of was maybe the playoff version of the Eagles defense. The only one that came close to just they took away everything. But I think nobody did it scarier in our modern generation than the Legion of Boom, and that was Pete Carroll's baby, along with John Schneider. So I think if anybody could resurrect that defense, at least to be somewhat serviceable, speaking. So there you go. So we'll go quick rapid fire here. We're going to take our standings and we're going to roll on to a NFC West, and we're going to mosey on down the dusty trail so I go eat food. I've got Chiefs winning at 11-6. I have the Chargers in second, losing a tiebreaker at 11-6, and then I have the Raiders at 10-7, Broncos at 8-9. I think this is one of the most competitive divisions in the league. I just think the problem is a lot of them are going to win their out of conference games or out of division games, but they're just going to smack the daylights out of each other. I don't think any team escapes the division with at least 2 losses in division. I think each team goes like 14-2, 2-4, like whatever you want to do. But
I've got a bunch of 10-7s, man. So all right, let me just start with this. I'm going to take the Chiefs in first place at 13-4. They've proven that no matter who they have, they get the job done. I'm going to go Chargers in second at 10-7 with a 2-way tie. Chargers and Broncos 10-7, tied for second. I think Chargers take the tiebreaker, and I'm going to throw the Raiders in at 9-8. I think they're going to have a really fun team to watch, and I think they're going to get the fan base excited for the future. I just think that there's going to be some ups and downs that they're going to have to accomplish. But I think this is going to be a real tight division once you get past the Chiefs.
Chiefs, Denver, Chargers, Raiders.
all right.
Raiders.
Moving on to the NFC West, we'll start with probably the bottom feeder in most of our divisions. Arizona. Does John Gannon get put on the hot seat here? When are we going to Kyler Murray, a.k.a. the other version of Trevor Lawrence, are we going to finally start acknowledging he's average, he's just fun in fantasy?
What is Gannon good at? Like,
I mean, they drafted the best receiver in that draft last year, and they didn't even use
He
him.
wasn't even the best receiver in the class, though.
Well, on paper, like, and heading into the draft, he was the number 1 guy in the. Oh, you all right over there?
you good, boss? Oh, shoot.
Yeah, I was discussing. Okay.
Anyways, I mean, on paper, he was the number 1 receiver heading into that draft. I know it didn't turn out to be that way, but he just they didn't use him. I mean, like you said, Kyler Murray is a good quarterback, just not. Besides that 1 year where he went like 10-0 and then he blew it in the playoffs, he just hasn't been Mr. Clutch since. James Conner is all reliable at this point, but thankfully he's been staying healthy the last couple of years. Marvin Harrison, you got to get him going. Greg Dortch is not the receiver option that you need. Michael Wilson, Zay Jones, not a really impressive receiver core. Trey McBride at tight end is great. Offensive line, we'll see how that goes. And then on defense, I mean, Josh Sweat obviously is a great pickup. Calais Campbell, old guy, still doing his thing. Walter Nolan is injured. Dalvin Tomlinson on there. They might have a decent line. And that defense in general might be a little feisty. I just don't think this doesn't scream a team that's going to win the division, that's going to get to a wild card, that's going to get to the playoffs. I think this team screams middle of the pack, 7-8 wins. Something in that area. And then I think the ownership's got to light a fire under Jonathan Gannon. Be like, listen, this is your 3rd year. Is this going to be his 3rd season? Yeah. Be like, all right, if you give me 7 or 8 wins in year 3, man, I need something big from you from year 4 while you're gone.
I think he's an average coach. So that's kind of where I'm leaning. Any thoughts on the Cardinals?
Nope.
Okay, fair. All right, moving on.
Over Marvin Harrison Jr., I tell you that much.
Brian Thomas Jr. over Marvin Harrison Jr.
Oh, yes. My apologies.
We're going to go a little north. We're going to make a pit stop in Los Angeles with the Rams. I think this Rams team is stacked. I think the health of the receiving core and their quarterback is everything to them. The Rams are literally the team of, oh my God, they're terrifying if they stay healthy. If they have 2 out of the 4 players I named, Adams, Puka, Kyron Williams, or Stafford, all who have injury concerns, get hurt, this team is bupkis. But they have a very talented defense, and I think they have a very fun offense. And as much as I despise Sean McVay's little whiny butt, he's a good coach. And they're going to win a lot of games if they stay healthy. I have them with 13 wins. I think they're going to kill a lot of teams. I think their biggest problem is I think that Philadelphia lives rent-free in their head. and they've lived there since they've lived there rent-free since probably about 2017 when they walked in and stomped them and then left and then did it again without Carson Wentz in 2018. So, aka the LA heist is what we called it when Alshon mossed 4 guys for a touchdown. Anyway, I think the biggest thing with the Rams is they're their own worst enemy in terms of injuries and playing against contenders. But I think in this division, they are king. They have the most complete roster. They have the best quarterback in the division. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's a coin flip between Herbert and Stafford. Healthy Stafford, I take over Herbert in a game. Gun to my head. You need to win. I'll take Stafford.
Oh, God. Best quarterback in the city. I was like, it's division. I was like, city.
Yeah, sorry. I meant to say division.
I got to listen. That's on me.
Yeah, it's division. I'm sorry. I for some reason I thought the Chargers were in. Yeah, he's the best. Stafford's the best quarterback in this very lackluster division in terms of quarterbacks. I don't trust Kyler Murray. I don't trust Brock Purdy, and I definitely don't trust what's up north in Seattle.
With the defense wise, last year they were a really fun offensive team and they had a feisty defense. I just need a little bit of work, and I think, you know, with some of the things they put together, I love Fisk, Ford, and Verse, and Cam Curl, Cam Kitchens. I think this is a defensive team has the potential to be a top 12 or so unit, top 12, top 15 unit, maybe even better. But this offense is going to be absolutely insane. I agree with you. I think 12 or 13 wins is what they're going to sit at, and they're going to comfortably take this division. Matt Stafford, as long as he stays healthy, I think they're going to be doing big things. Kyron Williams had an amazing year last year. He finally stayed healthy. The dynamic of Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams is going to be just cinema for Rams fans. Tutu Atwell with the speed downfield. I'm not a hot Tyler Higbee guy. I wish they would get somebody else, but I think he'll just be serviceable in that offense for them.
I miss Jared Cook Jr.
But Jared Cook over there is going to be great. But I think this is I love this. I'm very high on this Rams team. I think 12-5, 13-4 is written all over them if everything stays healthy. Even if Jimmy Garoppolo has to step in for a couple of games, this is an offense that he should be able to win a couple games with.
Yeah, he can functionally find his way through a minefield to get them a win or two. They'll probably go 2-2 in that 4-game stretch, but he can get them a win or two. Nate, thoughts on the Rams?
I'm just looking forward to see what we're gonna get from Verse and Fisk in year 2. As we know, they both kind of caused a little bit of a headache for the Eagles in the championship game. But no, they're great young pass rushers, so I'm excited to see what they can do. And then, of course, I keep forgetting that Devontae Adams on the Rams. So they have a good, solid offense, man. I'm excited to see Stafford and Adams, and him and Nacua and Adams, I should say. Good 1-2 duo for sure. One of the best in the league, no doubt about it.
My favorite moment from the NFC title game wasn't even during the game. Oh, well, I mean, let's be honest. Saquon's runs and Jalen's runs were awesome, and Jalen Carter's sack. But Jalen Carter's best moment to me was when he punked Jared Verse when he was taking his little lap and just walked up to something. I couldn't tell what he said. He said something that put the fear of God in Jared Verse. He just started walking because I don't think FSU boys are wired like that. They couldn't take on no Bulldogs. I was like, oh, because I saw the clip because it went viral, and I was like, yo, he punked him. He said something that got him shaking a little bit. Jalen Carter's got to be one of the top 10 most. We should do Thursday? We should do our top 10 scariest guys in the NFL currently. Everyone makes their own top 10 scariest guys in the NFL right now. You guys already know my number one or 3 is going to be Jalen Carter. Daniel Jones. Third of your team winning games? You betcha.
You betcha. You're doing right. He can be scary that way. I'll tell you that.
Who's the worst? We also could do them funny where you're like, oh, who throws the most hospital balls? Okay, Russell Wilson or
no, who's that quarterback that was last? Who was the quarterback that threw for the Saints last that got Olave a concussion?
Oh, Spencer Rattler.
Yeah, was it him or Carr?
Derek Carr. Derek Carr does that a lot.
Hospital balls too.
Oh, he's not in the league no more. Gosh darn it! Is it
Dak? You know what? We'll look this up. Who throws the most hospital balls? But
good question. Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, dude. We're gonna have some fun with this on Thursday. With whoever our guests are, we'll do one last KB top 10 before the season starts. Because the following Thursday, we back, baby. First 6. Oh yeah. By the way, Nate, guess what starts on Thursday?
What?
The 6-pack is back, man.
Oh, I'm winning this year, bro. I guarantee.
Nate's already calling a shot. Nate says he's beating both of us.
Guarantee it. I'm gonna go 16-0 just to go 16 over 50.
We're waiting to hear back from our fourth member of our crew, Chris Lipoff. Hopefully he can make it for this show, if not the next one. But he will also be involved in that competition as well. You know the rules. Winner gets a New Jersey team to be determined. So it's going to be a fun time. But, so back to it. Seahawks. I love our boy Dan. Shout out Time to BS and Seahawks sessions. Buddy, it might be a rough year. I think JSN's going to have a breakout. I think this kid's going to go nuclear this year. No DK, no Lockett to take his targets. This dude's going to go ballistic.
Cup?
If he stays healthy, I think they're 7-10.
It's just their quarterback. That's the only thing.
Talent-wise, the third best roster in their own division. I don't trust Kenneth Walker to stay healthy. I don't know if I like McDonald yet, and I know it's McDonald. McDaniels is in Miami, and he's also nicknamed McDoofus. I think my biggest issue right now is I don't trust a lot of stuff. I like their secondary. They started working on their pass rush. I think they're a division contender if Darnold goes ballistic again, but we saw what happened in the playoffs. He was gone. Gone. Poof. So
I win.
Yeah, sure.
No, I meant it went by when. My apologies. The question, it was a question.
All right, Nate, thoughts on the Seahawks, and then we'll do Matt, and then we'll finish up with the 49ers, and then we will do Matt's favorite game.
I love Charles Cross, the left tackle. He's really good, and he'll protect Darnold for sure. But we know how this goes with Sam. Milroe by week 12.
Oh, do we?
Yo, I'm up for the Milroe show.
I don't hate the defensive line with Murphy, Leonard Williams, DeMarcus Lawrence. I like the secondary. I like, Kobe Bryant, Julian Love, Tyreek Woolen, Devin Witherspoon, Emin Worry. I think that they have a solid, underrated secondary, a decent line. My issue is the offensive line. The offensive line last year was ranked in the bottom of the pack. I don't know if, Nate, if you're able to find the exact ranking, but I feel like it was bottom 7 in that area. Not a good line.
26th or something like high 20s number.
Yeah.
Nate's eyes are telling me it's in the 30s. 32? 31.
31.
All right, so they had the second.
I'm checking right now. I got your back.
That's got to be Jaguars.
Maybe it's probably the Giants, honestly. I know we were down there. I might have been trying to joke around. I think the Giants were like 32nd, but let me double check.
Oh,
I'll throw in a wild card. Give me the Titans for the worst offensive line in the league.
Yeah, but I can keep going. I'll let you know.
So pretty much to make a long story short, I don't hate the offensive weapons either with Kenneth Walker, JSN, Cooper Kupp. They don't have a tight end or anything. Well, they have Arroyo, but he's listed as the tight end 2 right now. But my issue right now is that Sam Darnold with a weak offensive line that does not supply a lot of protection, that's going to force him to run out of the pocket and scramble, is a recipe for disaster, because that is New York Jets, Carolina Panthers, Sam Darnold. So I think that you're going to see maybe an 8-9 middle of the pack Seahawks team. I think they could squeak some wins out because of the offensive weapons they have, because of the defensive talent that they have. But I just don't think, and they only drafted really, I believe, Gray Zabel, which is great, but it's not plugging one guy into.
They reached on him too. They could have easily got him in the second.
But even if he pans out, just plugging one guy into one of the worst offensive lines last year is not going to make you from 31 to 15. It's not going to make you, half as better. But it's just, I don't think there's going to be a lot of protection for him, and I don't think you're going to see the same Sam Darnold from Minnesota. So I'll take a 8-9 Seahawks team. I think there's going to be a lot of ups and downs. Sam's going to have some good games. Sam's going to have some pretty bad games. I don't think you're going to see a 14-3 Seahawks team like the Vikings were last year.
I think also the Vikings benefited from having a lot of okay competition last year, aside from division games. All right, last but not least, the San Francisco 49ers. There's an old Cat Williams quote, can't even do a full minute. Like, that's how I feel when they were complaining about Brock Purdy getting hurt against Philadelphia in 2022. and then they got killed in the overtime game against a beat-up Chiefs team to win a back-to-back Super Bowl. I look at the 49ers like the new Cowboys. Like, they're what the Cowboys were in the 2010s when they were winning the division every other year, but they were like just finding ways to lose in the playoffs. I like Brock Purdy the person. I love George Kittle. Still, in my opinion, top 3 tight end in the league, if not 1 or 2. I like some of their additions on defense. I think they have a very solid roster. I think the biggest issue with them is, one, the health of Brandon Ayuk and the contract situation of Juwan Jennings, the health of Christian McCaffrey, the health of their safety, whose name I'm not even going to try to pronounce right now, but you know who I'm talking about.
Talk about Malik Mustafa?
No, the other one.
Oh.
Who?
Yeah.
The safety? Or who?
Manuka, guy with crazy Palomalo hair. And I totally just butchered his name, and I apologize right now. But
Tally Noah Hufanga.
No, it's on the Broncos.
Oh, he's on Denver now. My apologies.
I know
Who is he
there's
lost?
oh yeah, that's right.
Diamador Lenore.
Okay, so no, the guy I was thinking of went to Denver. So that's my bad. Once again, this is the problem. There were so many offseason moves. I lost track of where some of these other guys went. But okay, defensively, still the best linebacker in football, and Fred Warner. Still have a top 10 supporting linebacker in Dre Greenlaw. Hopefully, I believe he's supposed to be healthy for this year. No, Greenlaw. That's right, Denver. Jeez, holy crap.
Yeah, dude, there's so many things. Denver took everything.
Next next offseason, I got you with a whole list of players, boss. I
thought we had one, but I think I deleted it.
I got you.
It's all good. No, don't worry about it. We only have an NFC East. So if you want to do it for the NFC East, that'd be lit. But
you know who their backup quarterback is? Mac Jones.
Yeah, right. It is.
Ew. Oh man.
He's looking Mac and Kyle Shanahan look into each other's eyes, and they're just singing "Reunited," and it feels so good. Because draft day, Shanahan was like, "I want to draft Mac Jones," and John was like, "No, Trey Lance." Or I could have that flipped. I'm not sure, but I thought it was very funny.
I think call it as you see it. I think the Niners had a Super Bowl window of the last 4 or 5 years, and I just don't think that they went to 2 Super Bowls, and I just don't think they were able to ever capitalize on and take advantage of it. And I think the window is closed now with guys departing, guys getting older, some people getting traded. You know, what's his name? Trent Williams is getting up there in age. George Kittle's getting up there. You know, you already got rid of Deebo Samuel. You lost Dre Greenlaw, Hufanga. They're just a team it's pretty close to having to start over. They still got some pieces, but like I said, that window is pretty much shut, and they're trying to force it back open. Brock Purdy still got there. Obviously, Christian McCaffrey depends on his health. You got Brian Robinson behind him, so I like that 1-2 punch. Ayuk is already hurt. Demarcus Robinson suspended. You have the Juwan Jennings contract negotiation issues, like you said. Ricky Pearsall is there. They just traded for Sky Moore. George Kittle, obviously. Kyle Juszczyk. The line should be all right. Defensively, you know, Yetur Gross-Matos is already hurt. Bryce Huff's back there. Michael Williams is already questionable.
I gotta call him that from now on. That was gross. That was Gross Matos, but
maybe it is Gross Matos.
Gross Matos is what I'm gonna call him from now on. That is great.
I definitely probably got that one wrong, but that's just funny.
Nate,
they got a lot of issues. No, I'll keep it short and sweet. A lot of injuries already. I think this team has potential to go maybe 10 wins, but I think you're looking more maybe like a 9-8 if everything's injuries keep arising.
Yeah.
Damn.
Any thoughts, Nate, on the 49ers before we make our picks and go into keep 3, cut 5?
Their depth chart is just a bunch of Q's and O's and suspensions.
Yeah, it is. That's what I was looking at.
It's like what happens when you fall asleep doing an ultimate team draft.
Their depth chart looks like when you submit a paper to your teacher and you know you didn't do anything to prep for it, and you just get all those red markings back.
No, my favorite is when you try to draft their depth chart is when you try to draft all running backs and quarterbacks in the first 4 rounds of the draft. You're just stuck with crap.
Receivers.
It's like Pearsall, wide receiver 1. Ayuk, is he playing? Is he hurt? What? Johnson's great. What about Jennings? Oh, he hates us. Oh, this is great. Oh, we got Sky Moore. Hasn't been relevant for 3 years. It keeps just happening. I love it. The 49ers find new ways to be funny.
If the guys that are questionable are out for week 1, your starting receivers are Pearsall, Moore, and Junior Bergen.
You all right? Nate, any other thoughts on the 49ers?
No, just I love Kittle. I do. I like the Brian Robinson trade. I know that happened recently. To be RB2 behind McCaffrey, who's gonna hopefully not get hurt, but we'll see what happens there. No, this is a 9-8 team. Simple as that, boss. And that's another bug. All right. Division prediction.
One consumed. That's 3, baby. We're on a kill streak. Calling the UAV. And I've also got both cats keeping me company right now because nobody else is in the house. So I've got Boo climbing off my desk and I've got goes passed out in my chair. I'm apparently Dr. Doolittle. All right, so standings. I'm going to take the Rams at 14-3. I think they stay healthy, and this is the narrative. Basically, they stay healthy. They're winning the division. They're probably going to be the number 1 or 2 seed in the NFC. At 2, I have the 49ers at 9-8. I think they're going to be an interesting team. I don't think they're going to be a good team. I just think they're going to be okay, maybe last team in. Same thing with the Seahawks. I think 9-8 record I have them at. I think a healthy Darnold with that defense, they're going to be okay. But I think they're going to have a rough schedule. Up and down Darnold, up and down defense, health-wise, running backs. It's a lot in Seattle that could go wrong. And in last, I have the 5-12 Arizona Cardinals. They're just bad, man. There's so many holes in that roster. They're going to get a couple sneaky wins, but it's like 5-12 maybe. So there you go. Matthew, thoughts on the NFC West?
I've got the Rams in first place at 13-4. I have the Niners. I'll give it a 2-way tie at second. I got the Niners and the Seahawks at 9-8. I'm not high. I know like Dan is saying if Darnold plays close to he did last season, that they have a shot to win the West, which I don't disagree with if he does play that same way. But my issue is that line is not as good as the Vikings line were, and I don't think he's going to have a lot of protection. I think he's going to be running a lot, and I've seen Sam Darnold run a lot, and it doesn't work. So I just because of the talent on that offense and the talent on that defense, I'll give them 8-9 or 9-8, maybe a tie with the Niners for second, and then I got at 6-11 or 7-10. I got the Cardinals in fourth.
Rams, Hawks, Niners, and then the sorry Cardinals.
Dan, to answer your question, why the Rams are so hyped up is they're healthy. If they're healthy, they're loaded. And I'm sorry, Devonta Adams is a better receiver than Cooper Kupp is right now. So
as long as you don't get week 18 Sam Darnold, you'll be all right.
Yeah, fair. All right. Nathan, you just did yours, right?
I did. Yes, sir.
Okay. Sorry. I'm trying to read three things at once. All right. Now it is time for our favorite game. Every Monday we do this. It is presented by our friends at Righteous Felon promo. Actually, no, sorry. Our friends at SeatGeek, promo code BellyUpSports for $20 off your first initial purchase. Official sponsor of Keep 3, Cut 5, and of Belly Up and the Belly Up Sports Podcast Network as well as the Korner Booth. Matthew, what is today's topic that me and Nate have to fight for?
Today's topics of Keep 3, Cut 5, running backs.
Ooh.
Running back edition. We're gonna try to make this a little.
This might be easier. I'm not gonna lie.
I hope we agree today, boss. I really do.
What? My one split was on Terry versus
Malik. No, it was the other one. It was the other one, but it's okay. We'll say that for next time.
Oh,
all right.
DK.
For everybody in the comments or everybody watching the stream right now, I'm going to name off blindly to these guys because I know the list, so I'm not going to participate. But blindly, I'm going to name off 8 guys. They have to keep 3 of them, and the other 5 they're going to get cut. Feel free to chime in the comments with who you think should be kept or cut as well. We are starting off hot here, guys. Straight fire. Derrick Henry.
Keep.
Yeah, of course. I agree with that.
King Henry's a top 5 running back in the league.
All right, bear with me as I write down K or C with my left hand. Okay. All right. Keeping Derrick Henry. Next up, Josh Jacobs.
I don't know. Still 5 back. Nate, we got to think about this.
No, there's better ones. You can't keep two. The rule. I've seen this before. You cannot.
All right, fine. We'll cut Josh Jacobs. I'm gonna hate myself later for this.
No, you're not. You just gotta trust me, boss. I've seen this before.
I guarantee the last one's Saquon. I guarantee it's the last one.
See, so you gotta believe.
Because Matt's wired like this. I know my boy.
See,
We're gonna go Jonathan Taylor.
That's a coin flipper. Because when he's healthy, he is just unreal. Size.
Do you think there's better ones that he's gonna say? If you say yes, then we have one spot. But I mean, at the same time, he is a really solid running back. Like when healthy, like you mentioned, he's really good.
I did say I was gonna make this one tough.
All right, Nate, I'm gonna leave this one to you.
No, I think there's a better one out there. Let's cut him for now, boss. Let's trust.
The next one's gonna be like freaking like Myles Gaskin, who isn't even in the league anymore.
All right. Well, you guys kept Derrick Henry. You've cut Josh Jacobs. You've cut Jonathan Taylor, and I'm going to reward you with Bijan Robinson.
See,
I
told you. Oh God, good job. Yes.
All right, we're keeping Bijan. Brees Hall.
No.
No.
Move,
No.
sorry, Matt.
That's like fine.
All right, we're cutting Brees Hall. James Cook.
All right, this is the problem. No.
Wait. What number are we on right now?
This is number 5.
Okay, yeah, well, we're good. Now we're good. There's a better one.
All right. What was this one I wrote down? Bucky Irving.
Show me another year of consistency.
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm going to cut Buck.
All right, you pieces of crap. Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, see, I told you. Let's go
from downtown.
You got a perfect keep. You got keep Derrick Henry, keep Saquon, and Brees Hall, Josh Jacobs, James Cook, Jonathan Taylor, Bucky Irving. So
yes.
I was going to hit you with the keeper right away, and then I was going to give you a little bit of a layup with some. I thought I could get you, which I almost did. I thought I could get you with Josh Jacobs or Jonathan Taylor, and then that would force you to probably keep Bijan, and then you would have to cut Saquon. You'd be upset. And I almost got you, but I really thought that Jonathan Taylor or Josh Jacobs might have been that kryptonite in this list.
Well,
almost got you.
Nate, I might trust your betting picks next week.
I got you. No.
Wait, Nate, no, listen. Unless I endorse you, you're okay. It's when I endorse you, your picks go up in smoke. But you went 500. You went 100% the first 2 weeks.
Nate is the reason why.
I love these.
Nate is the reason why you've got the Saquon, because if it wasn't for Nate, you definitely were going to keep Jonathan.
Because
Taylor.
I knew it. Like, there's no we can never.
Well, I did say it. I was like the last. I know, and you tried your best to keep that poker face. I knew. I looked at your face. You were like, I know how Matt's wired. He's gonna freaking put Saquon as the last one. And the little grin, little smug you had on. I'm like, gotcha.
You can't not put him in there. I got next week. We're gonna stick with the football trend for the rest of this season. I got to think about what position I want to do next. We might
you can even get these off position. You can even start going like top 10 Super Bowls.
We could even do all-time players at a position.
Let's get through modern day players first, and then we'll go on.
Spoiler alert, everybody! We're gonna do tight ends next week.
That's gonna be rough. Holy crap! Oh crap! Oh. Because there's like 2 really good tight ends, 5 great ones, 5 good ones, and then there's crap. That's gonna suck. We could also quarterbacks be brutal.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be because there's so many you can't put all of them there.
Quarterbacks be brutal for like the complete opposite reason. We'll do like offensive line as the totals of units. So like keep Eagles O line, cut.
Yeah.
Seahawks.
Yeah, you don't need to do tackles and centers, and you just the whole thing.
Basically, just give us the Eagles tackles, and then give us Trent Williams, and then I don't know, give me one of the Penei Sewell, and then that's basically it.
Oh, tight end's gonna suck next week. Oh damn.
That's gonna be brutal. Nate, we're gonna get enough bait, and this is gonna be after. Hopefully, our next guest comes on next week after we talk NFC East, which is already gonna get brutal. I'm also gonna be on vacation. I'm gonna be in a different location. I'll be around still in Connecticut, but like, dude, like what? Like that's gonna be Labor Day. We're gonna be already gassed as it is. So,
oh boy.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Keep 3, Cut 5, presented by SeatGeek. Shout out to Maddie for that awesome segment. Shout out to our other sponsors, Camps.com, promo code BELLYUP for 20% off your purchase at checkout. And, of course, Righteous Felon, promo code BELLYUP for 15% off checkout. Official sponsor of every Nate segment on this show.
Wow.
I want to give a special shout out to our guest today, Miss Erica Renee Davis of Fox Sports. She was amazing. She was great, and she's welcome back anytime. We hope you all have a great week. We will see you Thursday for the return of the six-pack. We might start popping champagne, chucking beer cans, dry firing, and all that fun stuff. But hey, listen, ladies and gentlemen, have an awesome week. We will see you on Thursday for our SEC preview, which we might be running solo. I'll try to get guests. It's been wild so far. Adios.